then they hear someone speaking, they don't know who it is.
Okay, we have our speakers up. Oh, and we're already kicking off.
The Ministry of First Choice Pregnancy Services here in Las Vegas. I'm Deborah, board member and executive director of First Choice Pregnancy Services.
And I'm Jessica, logistics specialist at First Choice Pregnancy Services. We are ambassadors for the unborn. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Fight for Life friends. Thanks for joining us today. This is Jess and Celeste, ambassadors on behalf of the unborn babies everywhere. And we're here to share insights and real life stories of what we've experienced in this fight for life.
We are kicking off our broadcast with our weekly updates so you can stay connected to the First Choice Ministry and how many lives are affected by your support. From February 9th this morning to February 15th, First Choice provided 68 pregnancy tests and 53 ultrasounds to our clients. The patients we serve are mainly abortion bound, but we serve women from all walks of life. It is important to reach them with our free services and speak up for their defenseless child. If you'd like to join the conversation or if you're interested in sponsoring this radio show, call the radio station at 702-650-5588.
Today's guest is none other than Ken Wilson, the founder, the founder for 40 Days for Life, the Las Vegas chapter.
Yes.
Today, he is back with us. Welcome, Ken.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's always exciting to be here with you lovely ladies and talking about what God's doing in Las Vegas and in your respective ministries. I mean, it's exciting.
Amen. And you always have so much input to say, and we're so grateful for you coming on with us. You have lots that you want to say about 40 Days for Life, so I'm going to let you just kind of...
Oh, well, it's just like that. That's what you call a segue in radio. Well, okay, so 40 Days for Life is officially kicking off their spring campaign Wednesday, the 22nd of this month. It's this coming Wednesday, in 6 more days. Prior to that, we always have a kickoff rally.
Yes.
And at the kickoff rally, it's always been on Sunday, the preceding Sunday at 2 p.m. And we're inviting everybody. If you have any questions about 40 days, maybe you would like to see, who are these people that are, involved? What is 40 days?
Yes.
And you need materials, for example, then the kickoff rally is an excellent place to come and meet everybody, see where our heart is, see what level of rebels we are. We're not rebels. We are just people that love the Lord and are called to do something on behalf of these beautiful mothers and their children who are walking towards disaster nearly just yards away from where we're going to be praying.
Yes.
And that's what you're going to be there for. There are so many, I could tell you so many testimonies about just people just being there praying, not necessarily having to interact with anybody, but when the folks drive by and they see that person praying diligently for them, it touches their heart. The Holy Spirit pricks their heart and he says, you know what? Maybe I don't want to do this. Maybe I don't want to do this. In fact, we just had, I think a couple of days ago, that very thing happened. And maybe we'll talk a little bit more about it a little bit later.
Think about those stories because I'm going to ask you about that a little bit later. But for now, I want you to tell our listeners what exactly is 40 Days for Life? How did the organization get started?
Okay. Well, back in 2007, there was a group of 4 guys and a couple Catholics, a couple of evangelicals. They got together and they said, we need to pray somehow. Back in College Station, Texas. And he said, we need to pray. We need to figure out what we're going to do.
Pray for what specifically?
They wanted to pray at an abortion facility. They wanted to do something. They wanted their prayers to be more effective for the mothers and families that were walking into the abortion facility. And they just started desperately seeking the Lord about what they could do. And the Lord dropped on their hearts this 40 days of prayer and fasting. And so they started thinking about this. Well, wait a minute, 40 days. I mean, that's more than just 4 guys can do. 40 days of prayer, in some cases it was 12 hours a day. Some cases it was 24 hours a day. So they're trying to figure out, well, how long, where do we pray? And they decided that what they wanted to do and what they felt the Lord was calling them to do was encourage people to come and pray. And then for the entire day for 40 days. So you're getting people from all parts of the community on different days, multiple churches coming out and organizing their prayer teams, and it blew up in a spiritual way. It was she's laughing because I said blew up.
No, I'm laughing because my headphones were
Oh, your
disconnected
headphones.
this
Oh,
whole
okay,
time and I couldn't
But
figure out why.
no,
I
it
couldn't
just
hear
took off.
anything.
It mushroomed to now where there are literally thousands and thousands of cities, not just across the United States, but around the world that are participating in 40 Days for Life. And you say, well, okay, Ken, you said 40 days. You want me to pray for 40 straight days, 12 hours a day? That's impossible. Yes, it is impossible. It's very difficult. But it's not all on just one or two people. What we're doing is we're reaching out to pastors and churches, and we're saying, listen, if you have a pro-life folks, if there are pro-life people in your congregation where the life issue is so sensitive to them that they must do something and they want to pray, then encourage that person to get more information and lead your church. Have them lead your church and pick a day.
Sure.
You know, during the 40 days, one of the things that we found to be very effective is for churches to say, you know what, our church is going to be there. You know, our Monastery Baptist Church, we're coming and we're going to pick October 5th. And what we're going to do is we're going to man it for all 12 days. And we're going to sign up all of our people for that day. And so, you know, that day, that church comes and they take care of all the prayer for that day. And you know, maybe 2 or 3 people come at, you know, the 7 to 8, and then the 8 to 9, then the 9 to 12. And by the time that, you know, the 12 hours are full, you've had a team of people and one whole church taking care of that day, covering that abortion facility and that street in prayer.
Sure.
And our goal is to get all 40 days so covered by all churches so that there's just a blanket of prayer, so that anybody that drives by, who will drive by you and see you praying, miracles will start to happen.
Sure.
And that's where and the beautiful thing about this whole thing is that First Choice is right there.
That's right.
Now, it's an incredible dynamic because First Choice, as you all well know, is a sanctuary of life on that street. And just down the street from them, just down the block, literally a few yards away, is the abortion facility. And so we're going to be praying on the other side of the street, right next to Tower of Jewels. And we shout out to Tower of Jewels for allowing us to pray on their property. We love them. And the Weinsteins, fantastic folks. And so, by the way, go and get some jewelry and let them know that you're out there. Thank you very much. They love that. And a lot of people have done that, by the way. They've gone to get their anniversary rings. They, like, watches fixed. And so, but anyway, we'll be praying there. And that's how the miracles happen. That's where the testimonies come. You know, listen, I have actually had the unbelievable blessing of being able to hold in my arms a child that had been saved by you folks praying out there.
Amen.
I mean, it just doesn't get any better than that. And that very same thing can happen to you. If you come out and pray, you don't know the impact that you're going to have. Maybe you'll find out, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll talk to some young lady like Tony did the day before yesterday, I believe, and who was just sitting out in front of her car, and she just couldn't go in. Sat there for 30 minutes. And finally, she just drove out, and she stopped, and she saw Tony, and she says, you know what, I just can't do it. I can't do it. I can't go into that abortion facility. And you know what he did? He directed her right into First Choice. He said, well, you see this building right here? These lovely ladies, this is a sanctuary of life. They're going to help you. You can talk to them. They're not even going to charge you a dime.
How
to go
convenient.
Right, how wonderful. And she went in. And so with a facility like that, of able-hearted, beautiful ladies who are willing to counsel, and nurses, keep in mind, it's a clinic, who are able to minister to these women in need, listen, it's ripe for miracles to happen. And that's what 40 Days is all about. It really is.
So just out of curiosity, is there any type of membership that's required
Oh yeah,
in order
you have to.
participate?
Yes, absolutely. You have to put up a $5,000 stipend, and no, you don't have to. Not $1, not a cent.
It's completely free.
It's completely free.
That's what I want to hear.
That's right. That's right. And so you say, well, Kenny, all right. Well, this is great. I don't have to pay anything. What do I got to do? Well, first, go to our website, 40daysforlife.com. The 40, the number 40daysforlife.com/Las Vegas. Log in, get registered, And if the Lord has put on your heart, say, you know what, I think I can come pray on one of those days. Grab a prayer partner so you're not there alone, and log into the calendar. We have a 40 days calendar, and it'll tell you can put your little time slot in there. You can put your name, and only those in leadership will see your name. No one else will. But other people who look at the calendar can say, oh, wait a minute, at between 10 and 11 o'clock, there seems to be a couple of people praying. Maybe I'll go and join, or maybe I'll come in the hour after. So it's really helpful for you to log in, 40daysforlife.com/Las Vegas, and sign in and register and click on the calendar and plug yourself in and be a part of what God is going to be doing for 40 straight days starting on Wednesday the 22nd.
Just really quick for all the listeners out there, we will definitely make sure to post that in the description below for the contact information for 40 days to get involved.
Absolutely.
See how you like this segue.
Celeste.
Celeste, you're actually out there on a pretty daily basis. What does the praying mean for the lives of the unborn and their families?
Well, the praying for the lives of the preborn, I mean, this is the matter, just like you described it so perfectly, of just how they're yards away from the brink of death. So the prayers that are going into these mothers and going into these babies in the womb are their last moments of intervention.
Yep.
I mean, it is straight intervention there on the street, and it's intervention inside of First Choice. So it's crucial. It is the most important last moments,
Yes.
last life-saving seconds that we can have, and we can make a difference by just directly getting God, just intervening with God, and just intervening with prayer.
And I'm glad you said that about emergency. And I want to talk to this about, listen, we have wonderful Catholic friends who are touched by God to minister in this way. And there's a lot of evangelicals. This is a ecumenical deal for prayer. Listen, don't let that stop you, because there is an emergency going on. I often tell people, like my Bapticostals or whoever they are, and they
I'm going to start writing some of these words down.
Absolutely. The Bapticostals say, well, wait a minute, hold on a second. The Catholics are going to be there, or maybe I have a Catholic friend of mine and say, well, wait a minute, that Baptist guy's going to be. Now listen. Remember, this is an emergency. You have to remember that. For example, if your house is on fire, you're not going to do a religious test to find out if the fireman is a Catholic or Baptist or whatever he is. You just want him to put the fire out. Well, this is even worse. There is a young lady and her child whose lives are on the line, and potentially their eternity is when they make a tragic discussion. We could go into depth about suicide rates and depression, all this stuff for moms who've gone through this. It's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So please, if you do want to be a part and you don't want any religious pretext, come with your heart. Just bring your heart.
Yeah.
Just bring your heart, and that's it. And I want to mention also the kickoff. I got to mention this again. We're having the kickoff rally this Sunday, the 19th at 2 p.m. right there at Tower of Jewels. And that's on Sahara between Maryland Parkway and 6th Street. You'll see Tower Jewels on the north side of the street, and we're right there. We're going to be right down there. We'll start at 2 o'clock, and we got some great speakers,
including Rebecca from First Choice.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We've got a number of ministries going to be there, including especially Kathleen Miller, also known as Mrs. Pro-Life, because that's just who she is, and she has Rachel's Vineyard and Living Grace Homes. She has 2 homes for women who are pregnant and don't have any place to stay. They need just to live somewhere else to have their. I mean, what a beautiful ministry that is.
And Rachel's Vineyard.
And Rachel's Vineyard for women that maybe are post-abortive, or maybe they had a miscarriage or something, and they're dealing with the stress of losing that child. Listen, Living Grace Homes is a beautiful retreat where they can go and be ministered by the Lord. Let's get more information about that. Kathleen's going to be there, and we've got Daniel Porter's going to be there, Pastor Randy Greer from Trinity Life Center. We got people from all over, a lot of pastors, a lot of ministry leaders. You need to be there to find out, get more information, not just about 40 days, but about all the wonderful things that are happening right here in your valley for life. And how's that for a plug?
Ken, you actually said earlier that you would encourage somebody to grab a prayer partner and go there together. And what I encourage you to do is to just be your liaison for your entire church and their youth groups as well. It is so incredibly important that we start reaching the youth of this generation to pass this torch for pro-life on to them and raise them up to be a strong, bold generation to fight for the pro-life cause and fight for the unborn babies. We have crazy things that are happening, and so we're going to start sharing some of this current events. We had New York has erected on top of the New York Supreme Court a statue paying homage to late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg and her fight for abortion when she was alive. They're using her death really though to play out this whole abortion thing. And so they erected the statue, or I would say an idol, on top of the New York State Supreme Court, and it's in the shape of a demonic looking woman with thick braids that are in the shape of horns coming out of the top of her head, which is quite offensive for any race, but for the races in particular that traditionally wear braids in their hair, who are targeted by abortion mainly, I would be incredibly offended, and I'm not even a part of that particular race. But then she's also standing on a lotus flower, and you had something to say about the lotus flower, didn't you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
And something to say about the other thing that's going on.
Okay, go ahead and talk about that, because there's all kinds of stuff that's happening for abortion and the fight for the lives that are at risk of being killed by their parents. And we just need to start putting some of this information out and keeping everyone who listens to Fight for Life Radio abreast of what's actually going on there in this world.
Yeah, so actually just recently in New Mexico at there's a satanic temple that's a very well-known religion that has been becoming more publicized in the media.
It's actually called the Satanic Temple. Yes.
Right. And has opened an online abortion clinic in New Mexico. Their mission is to supply the abortion pill to those who want an abortion or to those who want to participate in an abortion ritual. And
they
we're
say that right
emphasizing
on their
ritual.
website.
Yeah.
They say it right on their website.
Which is basically spelling out for us in plain words that this is baby sacrifice. And I think the silver lining in a lot of this, especially in the Satanic Temple, is that is for the people who I hate to use the word neutral, because there is no neutrality anymore. You're either on one side or the other. But people that feel like they are neutral. And if you aren't
speaking up, I can just say you're on the other side.
Yes. And people who feel like they are neutral and on abortion. And well, look here, folks. We got the Satanic Temple literally saying that they're baby sacrificing. This is a ritual for them. So it's in your face now. So here you go. Here you go.
By the way, this is also the same group that is in your kids' schools creating satanic clubs to counteract those who are actually out there trying to form Christian clubs in your children's schools, people.
This is not a neutral subject. This is a very demonic, satanic. There's a huge agenda going on, and so how much more do our voices as Christians need to take over the public square?
So what can we do? What can we do about this? Well, one of the things that you can do is to get active and get plugged into some of your local pregnancy centers and what they are doing. One of the things that we're doing out here in Las Vegas is we're having a March for Life on March 25th. This is a perfect opportunity for you, your family, your youth groups, your churches, your businesses to get involved and have your voices be heard. On March 25th, we're going to start out at the Trinity Life Center. Registration opens at 9 a.m., kickoff at 9:30, and then we're going to be marching at 10:30. I do have the pleasure of announcing officially that the woman who absolutely captivated our hearts at our banquet last year, Christy Hockle Davenport, is going to be coming out to speak at our March for Life. So we have a killer speaker that's going to be coming out for an encore appearance. So we challenge you rally your troops, get together a big group of people that you can bring to this march, and invite people who have never been to the march before. Yes, we want the people who have been coming faithfully to come and participate and continue to support, but we want new people there as well. So I challenge you. It might be a little awkward to have that conversation, but invite new people to come. It will only help to grow the pro-life cause. Pre-registration is now open. Go ahead.
Are kids welcome? Are kids welcome?
Absolutely.
Bring them all.
It's $25 per marcher. However, everyone under 10 years old is free, and you can register today, fcpsfriends.org, or you can call us at 702-294-2273. I do want to let you know we do have lofty goals for fundraising. This is a fundraising event as well as a community awareness event. We plan on raising $75,000 at this event. So that's a pretty lofty goal for our humble organization.
I think God can do it.
Amen. Yes. I affirm that. I'm in agreement. God can do that. So whether or not it be one-time donations, monthly commitments, it will all be accumulated and counted towards the $75,000 end goal. It's estimated it takes about $250 to provide our free services to each woman and to empower her to choose life for her baby and to save that baby's life. So based on that figure, our goal of $75,000 would save about 300 babies. However, if that woman is pregnant with multiples, that would be even more.
2 for 1.
2, 3, 4 for one. It depends on how many she is actually pregnant with. We've been getting a lot of multiples lately. We've been getting triplets. We've been getting twins. So yes, your dollar would actually go even further if she was pregnant with multiples. So at the top of our broadcast, Celeste reported that there was 68 pregnancy tests, 53 ultrasounds this week. If we were to reach that $75,000 goal, you would be sponsoring just over a month's worth of services for the women in the Las Vegas community and beyond. So ask your church, ask your organization, when you're not only trying to be a liaison for 40 Days for Life, but also for First Choice. Get involved, sponsor marchers, have the churches or the businesses that you're involved with, ask them to sponsor some marchers. You never know how many babies that's going to end up saving, just that $75,000 goal. So there will never again be a first post-Roe march for First Choice. And so we just pray that you don't miss out on that opportunity of being involved and participating in our first post-Roe march. And we hope to see you there.
Oh, yeah. And it's fun too. I mean, it's a great day just to get out, and you're out in the park, and you're seeing all these other folks who are like-minded and like-hearted, and you get to hear great speakers, and you get to connect with people that maybe you haven't seen in forever, and then you get to do a little march. And I don't know if you guys are going to throw in a tour of First Choice.
Absolutely.
Oh, boy, that's
it'll
good.
Start off at Trinity. We're going to have lots of games there, family fun type stuff. We will do the kickoff rally with Chrissy Hockle Davenport. We're working on some other back end things that I can't really talk about yet, but hopefully all of that comes to fruition as well. And then we will march. It's a 2-mile march down to the Strip, and it will end at First Choice. So it's actually starting on one side of the latest term abortion clinic in Las Vegas, and it's going to end on the other side of that abortion clinic.
There you go. All right.
We're going to surround it in prayer. So yeah,
there's your date. So that's the March for Life, March 25th, 9 a.m. The kickoff, that's for registration. Kickoff's at 9:30. The march starts at 10:30. So that's the March for Life. And so you want to mark your calendar. And again, for 40 days, the kickoff rally is the 19th of this month.
Yes.
And that will be at 2 p.m. Right across from First Choice on that very same street. And the official kickoff day will be Wednesday the 22nd, the following Wednesday. And so, hey, listen, sign up. Go to 40daysforlife.com/Las Vegas and get yourself registered. And if you have any questions, just email somebody.
Yeah, that's right. Listeners, we encourage you to pass the torch on for the pro-life movement on to the next generation and get involved. We thank you so much for listening today on Fight for Life Radio. We hope that you tune back in next Thursday at 12:30 as we go live again. Thank you so much, Ken, for coming on.
It's always a pleasure. Oh,
Celeste as well.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Ken.
Everyone have a blessed week. God bless.
Oh my gosh, I needed to cough so bad.
Thanks for joining your ambassadors for the unborn.
This is what I was
on the
hearing.
Fight for
Oh
Life Radio.
my gosh.
Oh, you have-
All of a sudden, I saw this like a cord.
I was trying so hard not to just bust up laughing.
And of course, my phone is acting like it's got the heebie-jeebies. Well,
It was a little possessed.
It's okay.
I
I think there is one comment.
Okay, what do we got here?
Several years before 40
let's-
days
Okay,
for life began, we prayed with Ken Wilson and a few others near the abortion chamber on
Sahara.
Sahara.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, where'd it go? Okay, and one of our primary goals was an ongoing pro-life ministry on this quote-unquote private street, because at the time, the abortion business bragged in their ads that they had no protesters because of being on a private street.
Oh,
Oh, that's
Oh.
definitely changed.
Ken, we didn't know that.
Oh, wow.
A
Surprise.
few months later,
God
Olaf,
stepped in.
who is the president of the board of First Choice, met with us and shared his vision for what became First Choice. So the ministry of First Choice itself was an answer to the kind of prayers people pray during 40 Days for Life. Amazing.
Amen.
And that
Absolutely.
was from Tim
Tim.
Palmquist. He was the one
Oh,
that.
that's Tim. Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so
Oh,
he
yeah,
was
the
the one
Lord-
that chimed in last week
that's-
too.
Tim and Terry walked that street before you guys were even there, and said, "You need a crisis pregnancy center right here."
Yeah.
And so before, they're from Bakersfield, so they said before they left, I called Pastor Randy at Trinity, and we had we just did a Wednesday night prayer for that very thing.
Oh my goodness.
We did
that
and
is
there was
amazing.
like
First
25
Choice
people.
just
25 people showed up,
can happen. Wow.
and the next thing you know,
That is incredible.
Prayer is powerful,
Prayer is
people.
powerful.
It is.
Prayer is powerful.
And it
Absolutely.
works.
Absolutely. No question about it.
Mhm.
Oh, I was so convicted when I was reading the Bible last week, and I was reading a passage in Matthew. Don't ask me what the exact reference was, but Jesus was talking, and there was somebody asking for a miracle, and Jesus said, "Do you believe I can do this?" Well, do you? And so
Right.
I was instantly when I read that, I was convicted in my heart.
Yes.
Do you believe? Yes, we believe. And so, but we need to take action.
Yes.
And act as if we do believe that these things are going to happen. So,
Yep.
of course.
I'm convinced the Lord has shown me that the birth control care center will close. I'm already past it, and we're praying for the money to buy the building. So,
Hey, I like
Oh,
that kind of belief and faith.
I-
Yes.
Well, it's pretty. When the Lord takes time out of His busy schedule to communicate something to you, then it's not a matter of faith anymore. It's just something you just got to wait on the Lord to do.
Right. Exactly. Just
So
being
I'm
patient.
beyond that now. It's just my prayer now is please expedite that day, Lord,
Yeah,
and then grant us the money to buy the building.
that's right.
Wow.
So yeah, because Pastor Randy wants to open a hospital.
Yeah.
That's his dream, to open a hospital in that area right there, right on our property. And we don't know if Birth Control Care Center will be part of that, or if it will extend a couple blocks beyond where you guys are, the other way, heading west. We don't really know, but
And
that's,
Pastor Randy, he's one that takes action. What are some of the other things that he's already done
oh,
in
for
that
Pete's
area?
sake, holy smokes! I mean, we got a food bank. We already have a clinic. We do have a clinic there. It's like one block over from you, so that anybody free. You can just
Wow.
walk in and just,
Amazing. What's
right.
the name of the clinic?
I don't know, but
Okay.
it's
there.
right, it's right there. It's right
Yeah.
past our high school and before the food bank.
Wow.
We have a food bank also, so it's sandwiched between the food bank and the in our high school, and then we built a 66 unit 4-story senior center.
Wow, incredible.
Yeah, we had one already but it was only like 20 some odd units. We leveled it and built that thing. We built the 4-story one.
Wow.
And now he wants to build another building to house, I think, orphans or something to that effect. Not an orphanage, but
Foster system? Or?
something to that
Yeah.
effect. And I think he wants to go 1 block over.
Oh my god.
By the way,
Wow.
Incredible.
it's amazing what God and they have just recently paid off everything,
Oh, wow.
debt free. I
Amen.
sent Pastor Randy. I said, you were a
That's
good
amazing.
steward. You are a good steward.
That's
Because
absolutely
years ago
amazing.
we could have, and I've been saying we because I've been going there 35 years, but they could have sold all their property, a decade or so ago, and sold it and moved to the suburbs and built another church. But Randy really felt that the Lord called them to be right where they're at, and look what's happened.
Wow.
So he's believing for that. So when I told Pastor Randy, I said, you know what? The Lord showed me that the place is going to close. He's going to close, and that the Lord said specifically, I myself will close this place.
Wow.
So I was like, whoa. And then
That's what
he-
I
Gives me
pray
chills.
for
That
every
gives me-
morning.
That's amazing. Like,
Well,
But
then-
for abortion clinics all over.
Amen.
Like, I want abortion to just end.
And
there
then-
will be a day.
But then he told me, he said, well, then I got to tell you this. And he said, I was driving by with my friend and they're building a hospital near my house. And I told my friend flippantly, I said, you see that hospital they're building? He said, that's where I'm going to die. And the Lord spoke to him and said, that's not where you're going to die. You're going to die in your own hospital.
Oh, wow.
Spoke to him right away. That's what, when I told him mine,
Wow.
he told me his.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
we're believing that God will do that hospital thing. I mean, hospitals, $500 million, $1 billion, but that's nothing compared to what God can do.
Oh my goodness, no.
So
Wow.
yeah, I mean, God can do it. So it's just a matter of waiting and seeing what the Lord
Right.
is going to do. Trinity Life Hospital.
That'd be cool.
How cool would that be?
That would
Yeah.
be, that just goes. Trinity Life Hospital. Or it just
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah.
Think
Wow.
about all the people who would just
Yeah.
volunteer to help build everybody would. I mean, when we were doing the charter school, I mean, we had everyone from Home Depot. And thousands of sponsors came in, laid tile, drywall, paint. I mean, just the
We
community
need those
rallied
kind of
together.
connections at
They
First
did. Well,
Choice.
the mayor is what made it happen.
Whoa.
The mayor is what made it
Who
happen.
was mayor at the time?
It's the lady, the Goodman's
Goodman?
wife.
Okay.
But this was
I don't know who
Oscar
the mayor is
Goodman
now.
at the time.
Yeah, no, it was Goodman's wife after Goodman retired. And his
Oh,
wife took
okay.
over. And she's the one that she ushered in. She wanted the religious community to be more involved with the police department. Open up
Wow.
prayer for the police department,
Wow.
and crime started going down. So
Well,
it's just
this-
amazing things that have been happening.
That is okay. So this is a witness too, because of that, because she's mayor. This is the local officials, and we as Christians need to start getting into speaking to our local officials. How important is this? This is a perfect example. It is for us to stop stepping up into this realm, speaking to our city officials,
Yeah.
going in that direction.
Well, we have a friendly voice in the mayor's office,
That's great to hear.
so yes.
And Victoria Seaman just announced she wants to run for mayor.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I'm not-
Is that
She's a
good one?
city councilwoman. Mhm.
Is she a good gal?
She's sitting on the board right now at the
Mhm.
city council. Oh, okay. All
So,
right. This is
so
great.
that's good. And then we got Sheriff Lombardo. So he's been adamant towards making sure that the crisis pregnancy centers in our town are safe. And I trust that he will do that, continue to do that as a.
Do you know what he's doing for that?
Well, not now that he's governor, but when he was
Sheriff.
when he was sheriff, he made it very clear that when the riotings were going on and that people were burning down crisis pregnancy centers all over the place, he made sure that whether you knew it or not, the patrol cars were making regular patrols of crisis pregnancy centers.
I can tell you more about that later.
You
Not-
probably can.
Not on camera.
But anyway, so I hope if that story is true, which I believe it is, that he will continue
He's
to
going
do
to
those
continue.
things.
We're going
That
to
he
pray
will
about
continue
that.
to do things
Right.
as
Sure.
governor
Yeah,
that
we're gonna
will
pray.
ensure that clinics like First Choice continue to be safe.
And he's going to, continue in what he based his campaign upon, and is towards the pro-life people. So
So
Amen.
we're going to be praying that he goes in that direction and
Yeah.
actually starts supporting
Yeah.
the pre-born.
Why don't you drag Olaf in here once in a while? Why don't you make him show up?
He's joined us once. He joined us once, and that was kind of early on in the whole
You
Fight for
call
Life
me when he
radio.
comes in. We'll get it on. We'll make it.
He'll I'm sure he'd be willing to come back in. I know that he's actually traveling right now, so, or he was. I'm not sure if he is anymore, but the good news is that hopefully Deb will be back very soon. So
Well, you'll need another chair.
yes, yes,
I'm
exactly.
her villain. I'm her villain right now.
Well, hopefully that won't necessarily always be the case. Hopefully you'll just start joining us regularly.
Oh, I love it.
We love you on here. All right, everybody. So those who are still listening or watching this later, I just continue to challenge you to give 5 minutes to the Lord on behalf of First Choice Pregnancy Centers everywhere and abortion happening everywhere. The Bible tells us that we need to hold back those that are being led off to the slaughter. And so I just pray that you would continue to lift us up in prayer and lift those babies up in prayer. And I hope everyone has a wonderful week. God bless you all.
Amen. Bless y'all. Bye.
Oh, I'm going to show you how to do this one.
Okay.
Go ahead and push the X.